week. Wow! Wow, what a week presents Fresh Money. Proudly brought to you by Africanbank.
Audacity to believe.
Eloise Boezak, welcome to Wow, what a week. Hashtag Fresh Money with Africanbank.
Thank you so much. Such a delight to be here today.
Now, I couldn't help but notice your surname. Your surname is Boezak, but there's a Z, like Boezak.
Correct.
Is there a difference between the Boezaks and the Boezaks?
There actually is none. It's a very interesting story. The family I married into are all from one particular very big family, 13 children, all born in the Northern Cape in Carnarvon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But during apartheid, a group of the siblings moved to Cape Town. And when they arrived in Cape Town, obviously during apartheid times, they had to register. And the people registering them decided the Z was too fancy.
Oh, wow.
And changed it to S.
Just like that?
Just like that. So on their passbooks was an S instead of Z. So it's all the same family, but you know the group that initially moved to Cape Town are now S's and the rest of us are Z.
Wow, okay. Now, you've got, 24 years plus?
Yes.
Marketing experience?
Correct.
How did that end you up at Africanbank?
I've been very blessed in my career to do lots of really exciting things, work in different industries, and work across the full spectrum of marketing communications. I love challenges, and the universe keeps bringing me those. So whether that's moving to a different corporation or a different part of a business, I have been privileged to work across the spectrum. And when I had left formal corporate work, I was doing consulting. I went to meet the then CEO of Africanbank, Basani Moleke, and I was really coming to consult. And she said, I have a real problem with customer experience.
Yeah.
Thought, okay, that's new, let's do that. And that's how I ended up in Africanbank. I was coming to do marketing consulting, ended up doing customer experience, which was a really powerful additional skill set that has helped me a great deal now that I'm back in, more traditional marketing.
Now, with the experience you have, tell us what it takes then to take complex banking concepts or terms and simplifying it for someone like me I just want a bank account.
I think the most important thing is to understand who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So you really have to be respectful of why somebody would engage with you.
Sure.
Understand what they are needing from that interaction with you and be able to create either a solution or a means of connecting with them in a way that resonates, be it in their particular language, at their particular understanding level, but also in a way that makes them feel comfortable.
Sure.
There are some industries that are very intimidating. Banking is one of them.
Absolutely.
People feel it's complex, it's regulated. You've got to figure out a way to make people feel that they're comfortable and that they can trust you.
And also, I might not be formally educated, but still respect me when you talk to me.
Absolutely. And many people who are not formally educated have great insights in how to manage money.
Yes.
Because when you have very little, you learn how to be creative about how you manage money. So we know that a lot of our customers have really interesting ideas of how to save, of how to work well. I mean, we see that in the culture of Stokvel.
Sure.
Stokvels have really come out of a need for groups of people to enhance what little they have and make it more. And Africa is an extraordinary continent.
Sure.
I mean, moving money, the concept of moving money is the most sophisticated in Africa than anywhere else in the world. You will go to Europe and they are shocked that you can move money by geolocation.
Yes.
And now by PayShap, where that money will be available immediately in your account. They don't have that construct. The US, they can't even do EFTs. So what Africa needs to really understand that a lot of our people are resilient and creative problem solvers. And if we engage with people at their level, we can learn a lot and grow how we engage with them by just listening to our customers.
In fact, under your watch, Africanbank has become even more customer-centric, if you will. What are some of the strategies that you've had to implement and employ to get to where you are?
So I think...
In fact, I could boldly say you have taken Africanbank to what it was back in the day.
Thank you. That's a lovely compliment. We've been very intentional about being customer-driven.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time with customers,
Sure.
as also understanding the socioeconomic conditions they live in and what they need to thrive. And in doing that, we have also embraced the concept of being African, that African hospitality, making people feel comfortable. You know, if you call our contact center, it doesn't matter what language you speak, we will accommodate that.
Sure.
And that is a powerful message to people, to say that you are someone here, you are vital here, and we respect you.
You're not just an account number.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not interested in just your business as an individual. We want to know you as a human.
Absolutely.
And I think what so many other environments don't get is that when you create that sense of connection, you will grow your business exponentially. And so we were intentional about being very customer-centric, and we continue to be so.
One thing I've also noticed, because Khosi Nkosi, whom you guys have collaborated with in the Africanbank collection, and we call it a collection because it's not uniform.
No, it's not uniform. It's a collection.
It's a collaborative collection.
Correct.
By Africanbank and Khosi Nkosi. But what I've appreciated is how your staff have been part of this journey. Why was it important to keep the staff abreast of everything and to have them feel like we are a part of this?
Because fundamentally, a business rises and falls on their frontline people. And particularly in the case of banking, our frontline people carry us on their backs, right? And so it was a fantastic opportunity to really celebrate, giving them a sense of empowered dignity by dressing them in a way that was surprising and delightful, that catered to different shapes and sizes, and allowed them to also select what suits their style. And that's why it's a collection, so that anybody can find things within that range that will suit them. And so they feel like we have listened, that we have heard them, and that in the way that then they express themselves when they wear those clothes, they are still individuals as part of this organization. That's why we say it's unified, not uniform.
Absolutely. Like, you look amazing. This is
Thank
all
you very much.
Khosi Nkosi.
Indeed.
Why
And
did you
what
go
a
with
partner.
her? Why did you go with her?
You know, we had 9. Well, when we started out, we decided to be very intentional. We wanted to do black designers, and we had 9 pitch. Khosi Nkosi came in with intent. They were the last ones to pitch, and they came in, I will never forget, with a volume of clothing. They were there to give us a sense of the range and why it was powerful. But their brand is about audacity. They have struggled. They have worked in retail. They have understood what it takes to come into an environment and really put yourself on the line through adversity. And when they presented, they matched their story so beautifully to the Africanbank story that it was a no-brainer in the end.
In fact, when I went to her factory, I was like, wow, you have a factory. I'm blown away. I was telling her that it's quite something that your tagline is audacity to believe, and her story is precisely that.
Correct. There was such immense synergy. I mean, I don't know if they'll love me telling the story, but I'm going to tell it
Tell
anyway.
the story. Let's go.
So after they got the account, we sat down one day and they explained to us how they had gotten a DM on Instagram to participate in the tender. It was a 2-week turnaround, and they knew they wanted to do knitwear. But in order to do the knitwear, it was quite expensive, and they didn't have the capital at that time. So what they did, in order to have capital to get knitwear done in that time period, is they sold one of their cars.
Oh, wow.
They really had such self-belief. It's a really audacious thing to do, to even pitch it. And it obviously paid off, right? They said they fasted and prayed they hadn't eaten for 3 days. Coming into that pitch, it was audacity to believe at its highest level. And without us even knowing that, that's how committed they were to this. And I'm so delighted that every single interaction reaffirms our decision that they're the right partner.
The big question now, because I wore one of your golf shirts last week.
Yes.
And now my DMs are crawling with, where do I get that golf shirt? Where do people get your
Right.
collection?
So I think we obviously were focused on staff, right?
Yes.
Because that's where it started, but we knew we had something magical here.
Sure.
So now we have launched the actual staff collection to media, etc.
Yeah.
We are scrambling because the demand was certainly much bigger than we thought it would be. We are hoping that by the beginning of, in a couple of weeks, we can come with some limited items,
Okay.
particularly the golf shirt we know is something that
That
people
golf
want.
shirt is going to sell out. I'm warning you now. It's going to sell out.
We're aware, and
Yeah.
I know Khosi, particularly Tabo, has many ideas of how to play it out. He wore a really stunning bomber jacket version of it yesterday.
Oh, wow. So now there's a bomber jacket.
Correct.
We're in trouble.
And then there are, of course, a number of other items. So we know that we will bring it faster than we thought we would, but we are hoping that by September, the range will be available for consumers, the entire range.
Cannot wait.
Me too. To be honest, me too.
Now, just quickly before we let you go, because yes, you're looking amazing in Khosi stuff, but you're also a bank.
Correct.
And I think one thing we need to do, especially within our black communities, is inculcate, especially in our kids, the importance of savings and investments. Can we just touch on that quickly?
Absolutely.
Before we
You know,
let
it
you
is
go?
Savings Month, and it is a key aspect of the strength of Africanbank
Yes.
is savings and investment.
Sure.
We have the best rates. We have a number of products that allow you from the time you open your account, even if it's just lazy saving and putting your money in the savings pocket, which we offer for free at an amazing rate. We are focused and intentional about creating options for people all the way from a savings pocket to Stockfell to various other products that will allow you to grow money. Even if you have massive money and you want to put it away, our 60-month fixed deposit is the best in the market, 12.8%. But most importantly, it's an attitude of understanding that what you are investing in is your future. And that future may be in 3 months.
Absolutely.
That future may be in a year or 10 years. But Africanbank not only will give you those solutions up front, but will support you through that journey.
Why is it, do you think, that we struggle to save?
I think a lot of people feel that they are really living hand to mouth, right? That there's very little that they have as extra.
There's no choice, basically.
And they have no options. But I think part of what we need to do intentionally is say 50 Rand. Just 50 Rand in your savings pocket.
Start.
50 Rand.
Yeah.
And in a couple of months, that's 300 Rand, and that can go in a 7-day account.
Absolutely.
And help people through that journey, and then show them the reality of what it means to have delayed gratification. You don't have to have it now.
Absolutely. But it will be worth it later.
You can buy more later.
Yes, absolutely. Just looking at, like you said, you've married into a big family.
Yes.
And when you have a big family, savings is very important.
Yes, indeed.
Being penny wise is very important. What would you say is your biggest savings tip that you've learned in your, whether from when you were a little girl or when you got married or when you started working? The one savings tip that you've never forgotten?
The one savings tip my dad has always said to us when we were little, he said, whatever you are given with no commitment, half it and put it away.
Yeah.
So if you're given pocket money, half it and put it away.
Yeah.
If you have been ever given a gift, half it and put it away.
Wow.
Anything that is unexpected or extra, half it.
And put it
And it's always stayed with me, that mantra of halve it.
Yes.
So if you have a bonus, if you have something that is a bit of a windfall, half it and put it away. And put it away cleverly.
It's weird. My dad had the flip side of that.
Right?
That whatever the bank allows you to spend half of that.
Ah.
Yes.
So from a credit perspective.
So if you're going to buy a car and the bank says you can spend $1 million, we'll give you $1 million, he'd always tell me, then spend $500,000.
That's very clever.
Because there's other costs that we don't look at when
Always.
we're buying a car.
Correct.
When you're buying a house.
Yes.
And the rule of buying a house is after 2 years, everything breaks.
Amen and amen again. And then after like 5, yet again.
Yes, another geyser has burst. So whatever you're allowed, take half. That's what I was raised on.
And that's a very clever thing. I think a lot of people don't understand how they can reach a point where a bank will allow them to actually engage because they don't look after their credit score and understand how to build it and use credit cleverly. So that's a really important skill that we continue to drive within the bank, because credit can be powerful if you use it in that way.
Absolutely.
As opposed to go and flash the cash on that credit card. It's a very clever tip. I love that.
Eloise, we are out of time, but we want to just say thank you to you, the bank, your staff, Khosi Nkosi and her crew for not only making banking fashionable, but for bringing Ubuntu back to banking.
Thank you.
I think it's very, very critical, especially for people who I could put my money under a mattress, but I'm bringing it to you. I'm trusting you with my money.
Correct. So we remain really honored that our customers trust us.
Yes.
And we continue to strive to surprise and delight and embrace being truly African.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eloise Boezak, Head of Marketing, Personal Banking.